Warning, what you are about to hear is in fact opinion. It is not necessarily a representation of the league, coaches, or channel. You will hear things that may not make you feel good. This is called criticism. Sometimes criticism can even be subjective. Blood Bowl is a game of dice and strategy, and there will be comments on both dice and strategy. It does not necessarily mean that the subjects are good or bad people, but they probably are bad coaches. This is sarcasm. Either way, if you think it is offensive to be told you are wrong, tell someone else who cares. Enjoy. All right, so after a brief delay, match will be happening. I will be repeating myself for those of you that were here earlier, but if you're watching this on the VOD, I had a coach that game, so I will quickly go over the teams one more time, pretend like that first bit just didn't happen. So we are playing a match in the Challenger Cup between the REL and the Big O. First up, let's take a look at the REL team. This is a second season team, technically. They came up through the ramp up. Bring out your Undead, which despite having Undead in the name, is actually a Khemri team. Khemri team has a fair bit of development. Total of 4 guard. Stat-ups on the throwers. We've got a strength up wrestle thrower, which I think is a third choice. Not like the wrestle after you get the strength up. Then we have a movement up launch thrower, which is actually a great ball carrier. It just would be better the strength up one. We've got guard here on one of the skeletons, which is very nice, and a Rackle skeleton for safety. So we've got multiple safeties here. Rackle, one with jump up on the Blitz Raw, 1 SPP away from getting piling on. Hope he gets it. We'll call it a draw. And some mediocre Tomb Guardian development, one of which died recently. That's why he's developed. Moving on back to the Orc team, which is coming from the Big O. We have Orc-estrial. And this team is a first season Orc team. They got all of the stat ups concentrated on the thrower, just like last year. Instead of 2 throwers with 2 stat ups, or 1 stat up apiece, we have 1 thrower with 2 stat ups. The Agi and your standard Orc thrower stat ups. We've got a dirty player that took Fend. Just took this level. I was expecting Wrestle. Also, you don't have to dodge to get the foul on, but he this match, bringing him up to 60. We have a Blodge Step Blitzer. Feel strongly. Sidestep should have been diving tackle. Stand firm as the follow-up choice. I passionately do not like choosing sidestep as a double. You have strength access. Stand firm is a superior skill in my opinion. Not to mention the fact that could have done something else is better prepared. Got your standard Orc killer with Mighty Blow tackle piling on. I do appreciate the order of that. A more dodgy environment. Not a lot of Black Orc development, but we do have one Black Orc that has everything he needs, and that is the tuba. I greatly enjoy the team theme here, so I'm hoping to have some fun with this. As statistics-wise, this team has won 8 games, 2 of which were in the Greenhorn, and 6 for the... Oh, the Swiss. That's... So 7 wins right there. Anyway, let's go ahead and they are ready to go. Welcome back into the channel here, Krinko Van Test. And let's... Hey, we've got a match. Oh my gosh. Never thought it would happen. Never thought it would happen. Those of you that know me know how I feel about long waits. Only imagine how I feel about a 30-minute delay. 40-minute delay, actually, to the start of the game. Let's hope they are expedient with their turns. skills up on the screen like a real professional streamer. So long. Pro Blood Bowl stream. Interesting choice here. So it looks like I might get the recap here as coin toss or a view of the inducements. Orc-estrial did get inducements. Like they won the fan factor roll, I should say. And we have a bribe that has been purchased. No wizard that I can see. No babes. So just a straight bribe, which again makes sense when you've got that dirty player. Orc-estrial getting an extra reroll courtesy of the fame. Always. Got some nice Blood Bowl weather here. And it looks like Symbol. Or is back to receive. Right out of the gate, we're getting a block into an injury. 1, 2, 5 is injured. No piling on needed. Mighty Blow getting the job done on that injury roll. The dirty player skeleton is out. No regen. Goodbye. Second block of the game coming out of piano, hitting a shrubbery. 3. Takes it on the chin. We are not basing Tomb Guardian. Setting up for the blitz there, which is probably what I would have done. We do get a second armor break and 2 shrubberies. Done. Curious where we go with the blitz, since we are not appearing to go for one of these Tomb Guardians. It looks like, yes, it will be onto the Rackle Peak. Not be blitzing with Mighty Blow, because guess what? There's only one Mighty Blow on this team. It is a bit light for an Orc team. I say that as a Orc coach that, you know, doesn't always back the Mighty Blow, but still likes to see it on at least one Black Orc. Preferably, in my opinion, 2 blitzers. Just for reasons like this. Really, again, the optimal amount of Mighty Blow is get your 1 for each of your hits on the line of scrimmage, 1 for your blitz, so start out every drive advantage. But here we are getting a number advantage, a 3rd armor break as well. It's going to limit the Khemri, and now the orcs are kind of bunching up in a way that how this pans out. Pick up attempt is a 2+ with sure hands. We are totally able to pick that ball up. And we'll see how much he commits to screening the backside against Khemri. Oh. Not really get back. So. Oh, okay, that's why we're all bunched up. We've got the scribe and we're going to use it to foul skeletons. 40k player. But the 100k bribe is not needed. We do use dirty player on that injury roll to get the casualty, but regen is a thing. That's a turn. You know, yeah, I'm okay with the orc positioning as far as protection goes. The ball is safe. It's safe. But this does tell me a little bit about the strategy here from Chicken Fish. He is going to rely upon the fact that he is a little bit faster. Team's not going to be worried about, you know, Henry cutting the corner. No break tackle on any of the Tomb Guardians or any of this team. So, what I would expect the Khemri to do here is to go ahead and drop the base hard. Take advantage of the strength advantage that they have. What I would not want to see, there we go. So I would have, if you're going to go in for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. If you're going to bring 1 guard, Tomb Guardian in, might as well bring them all. That was suboptimal. But we are going to get a Mighty Blow shot onto a Black Orc. This is still Black Orc. Does get the knockdown. Oh, armor break. But I'm guessing Cello here is going to be really good friends with red, no blue. Ah. Of course, continuing the Monty Python meme. Bring out. Look at all the player names, but I'm assuming there is a. She turned me into a new. Yep, there we go. Turned me into a newt. My favorite line. Oh, better. So, speaking of things getting better, regen skill that I feel like it's just so good for the. Really only basing the two here, so what I would expect is that we end up seeing bits on. I'll get better. Be a palm blitz, which probably would be. No, we're going this one. Okay. Block does a thing. No natural armor break. We pile on. It is a decision whether or not you pile on here because it was a no armor break and you do get the extra assist on the foul if you don't pile it on. Personally, though, I would go ahead and pile this on and just player up in this. Running the ball up to the side and just hit and force the Tomb Guardians over. He does not select pile on, so we get a 3 assist foul. He is committing to this side of the pitch. Bring a reaction out of the Camry, no doubt. Expect one and or both of these Guardians hard to the. Orcs are not a fast team by any means, that's why they get the bad rep for bad GFIs, but they are certainly faster than the Camry, and if you can draw them to one sideline, definitely back the other way and have an easy score. We get the dirty player foul. 3 assists. Oh bueno. 4 and a 4 there. In red, no blue. Ah. We have a shot. Saxophone. And we'll probably need to reposition to get a shot on. I think both those are good choices. Beyond that, I would expect blitz or arm is off. Honestly, the is probably the best target for. But I am wrong. Our blitzing killer. Getting a knockdown, but no armor. The reason I don't like this one as much is we're going to be getting a shot right back. The 8 blitz. You're kicking hard with this fight. Sidestep. In action. Feel like that's giving us as much, and in fact it is giving him an extra shot with Mighty Blow. Calculated but greedy would be my assessment of that decision. Sidestep there. No, we should have followed with the guard, first of all. Getting the guard in here would have been a lot better. But do see at least one. Yep, we do get the one Tomb Guardian adjusting towards this side of the. Trying not to overcommit. I would have liked to have seen him set up for a 2-die block here. Mighty Blow. To do this, he would have needed to bring the Strength 4 over and then not done the blitz with the jump up guy and brought him over as well. And that would have been a really strong message that the Orcs can't freely walk up this pitch. Then we're just going to take the 1-die. The 1-die does deliver. And again, the Orc armor holds strong. And this is, I would say, typical of this matchup. Really, AV9 Orcs means that they get knocked down a lot, but they tend to stay on the pitch against this team. And as long as they're willing to sacrifice Orcs to stall up the large Tomb Guardians, the Orcs are usually able to score just. The only time they really struggle is if the AV9 does not hold and Orcs down numbers against the Camry feels real bad real fast. We see now the Orcs are in a position to get a lot of blocks. They are not devoting a lot of players to protecting the ball at this point in time. So they are able to take extra, or basically commit extra players to this scrum, which the Tomb Guardians are not really all in on. I would say thinking about going all in, they have yet to commit entirely to the fight. So because of that, the Orcs are going to be rewarded with a lot of 2-die blocks this turn. We'll see if they're able to make anything of it. They have 2-player advantage currently. As you join us, we had the very first block of the game, moving this dirty player for the rest of the game. A foul that was... this Orc thrower's okay. You know anything about Orc throwers in the Rebel? Get their stat ups. Symbol's nice, but no Riley Reed. He wrestle, probably doing a thing here. I think he did wrestle, yeah. He does have 4 rerolls, so I mean he could have rerolled that one, and it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. It is against an AV7 target, and that would keep your guard in a better position. Ideally, yeah, I think I would reroll that one because you want to be standing in this square, which is going to give you the card on the right side as against this Tomb Guardian when he stands up. And all in all, I think far superior position on the ground. Regardless, we do get guard in here on these Tomb Guardians, and that sets up another 2-die block. And here we go, Saxophone with a shot on. Your arm is off. But the AV9 holds. Unskilled Black Orc taking a shot at Who Made You King. And there's the greed reroll. It was a decision there, and he did pause whether or not to follow up here. I feel like, yeah, he made the right call not to follow up. Could have based the strength 4 guy, but like that gives him as much where he is right now. And he is going to go ahead and go in for the foul onto the Mighty Blow tackle. He gets the armor break, gets the injury. Would have been a dead Blitz Raw, but regen. This will be the bribe. Bribe is accepted. But at this point, down 3 players, including the Blitz Raw, I fully expect the Orc score here. Drive is entirely in the Orc's favor. This will, no doubt, make the Big O happy. Numbers strongly in their favor. Second half, though, be another story. Most of these removals. Pushes, and pushes coming for the Camry. But now they're committing to this scrum. 3 Tomb Guardians invested in the fight. A lot of guard, marking a lot of Orcs. Where does Tomb Guardian number 4 go? Yes, he also enters the fray. And this is just an all-out battle. The problem is it took him too long to do this. He waited until he's down 3 players to commit to this fight. And I feel like the Orcs now are going to be able to use their number advantage to continue to fight back. You finally see an Orc knockdown. And an armor break. Just a stun. And unfortunately that also, at the same time, takes this Tomb Guardian right back out of the scrum. So he's not really providing guard anywhere. Yeah, it's rough. If you're playing a control team against a control team, the one that goes all in the hardest wins. Because because there's absolutely no pressure on the ball, orcs are still able to go all in. Right side of the pitch has been seeded back over to the orcs as well with that foul. We're to stay one step ahead of thrower here. Fully expect that orcs to just push right back up the backside. It is turn 4. You do want to start seeing some forward progress into your opponent's side of the pitch, and that's whoa. Forward progress is a lie. What that does... Oh, okay, that's why. I was going to say, what that tells me is that the orcs are going to really commit to this now that they've got a numbers advantage. They're going to try and go all in to secure some kind of number advantage for the second half, or a significant removal. The removals thus far have either not stuck or have not been important. But if they can get rid of a Tomb Guardian, that will be felt for the... Those of you not familiar with what's going on here, this is a REBBL Challenger Cup. It's a playoff style format, and there is overtime, so making the decision to play for endgame attrition is valid. Dub Skulls making an appearance. Got 3 rerolls. Do use one. Another 10, 5, 5 on the armor roll, but just a stun. Third time I have seen that. One up here. Foul. You had one right here. Fellow for this black work. 3 in a row. Getting the foul again. This time onto Mighty Blow again. Nope. Orcs, yes, are showing no signs of mercy. I expect some more one-die blocks here. Oh. Or not quite a one-die block, but a dodge attempt. So without break tackle though, there's really no chance of punishment unless we just chuck some. I'm curious though, the way this scrum is shaping up. Henry are wanting to try and set up a chain. Oh, actually, okay, I see a play here. And requires powing a blodger, but if you can pow the blodger, or even, I guess you could use this guy to blitz. Blitz down the sidestepper and that. Oh, no. Well, what I was thinking you could do is you could free up this Tomb Guardian and go ahead and make the GFI and just base this ball carrier. It is Agi 4 though, so, you know, fish him for... I generally would like to see a little bit of pressure on this, especially when you're losing the scrum. So now he's getting some knockdowns. That is pushing things back into his favor, but he's down 3 players, so he really does need to consider what his plan is. Repositioning of the guard. Does get the mark here on Black Orc. Missions for the POW on the Blood Step Orc, and he gets it. Gonna happen here to the saxophone. I'll get better. Not find the armor rope. And chooses to follow. So this Black Orc stand up just fine. Really sets up an blitz on other Should he won't. 4+ dodge. Agi 2. Of the Camry Agi 2 plays. Doesn't take advantage of the jump up though, which I find a little bit interesting. Oh, I see why. Okay, we are positioning to foul this piling on Orc. You foul him. Not find the results we are looking for on the two. A lot of coaches would probably say when you're down 3 players that that is not the ideal time to foul. I think if you've got the right target with the right players available, that it's a call. I don't advise that call. I just know that if you make that decision and you do get sent off without getting much armor break, you probably... I mean, it's fair to assume that you've probably already lost this drive. So it is still a calculated risk towards the second half, right? Orcs don't have a ton of bench. The wrestle line orc that is on the bench is nowhere near as useful as this palm tackle bullets. Moving the key Mighty Blow tackle piece from the orc team make your blodge throw raw feel a lot safer. I wasn't gonna say I like it or I dislike it, no, but I do. Double pows on 2, we'll call it a draw. We follow this up. Baiting the pylon. It doesn't look like we're going to see it here. Because there will be a jump up block available. Get a 2 die on the fender, or I finally... Saxophone repositioning here. The jump up block more. I expect we do see this one guy blocking. Again, this orc, every time he goes backwards, it suggests that we're about to see a 1 die. I do like that about the way Chicken Fish plays. Does escape the ball front of mind. A lot of people forget about the ball. Regular playoffs. Past couple days. I would like to see some pressure. Don't think we're going to get it now. No, we haven't done it, and we are getting later and later into the drive with the orcs so deep in their pitch. No reason, I guess, for Kimry to assume that you're going to be able to turn the ball over. The 4 turns remaining there, 3 for the orcs. So it does make a reasonable sense for their position to continue to try and even out the numbers here while also committing. Oh, yep, here's a jump up block. Only a push. Sidestepping off of the throw raw to get a assist. Blitzraw wisely electing to step away. we go. We are blitzing onto. Oh, I'm still with the reroll. Not a knockdown. And xylophone. Be around for far longer. Black hole skeleton does bring down. Yeah, killer he brought down. Most likely going to free up this guard blitzer. I would expect him to try and position up towards Black Orcs here. Try and get guard in there. But for a second there, thinking that we were going to see a foul. 4+ dodge. The no assist foul is just not ideal. What he's trying to do here is contain the blitzer, so that he's not piling on to the Tomb Guardian. More valuable piece of throw raw. Hate that just all. Got plenty of skeletons to sacrifice. Again, really starting to run low on time here. I would expect the Orcs now to try and make forward progress with the ball up the side of the pitch. Right side is the more exposed, vulnerable one where you've got better positioning. Trying to go up the left side is just asking for trouble, and you've got this Tomb Guardian which you could base, but it's got the throw rod to account for. Phone getting the knockdown onto 2 shrubberies, but 87 is fine. Guard does reposition up north, but only marking one of the 2 Tomb Guardians, so this is well to be a 2 guy on with block. Whoa. We do see the Orc make forward progress, but still in his side of the half. Turn 6 is going to be really pushing the limits of his movement. We see the Tomb Guardian come down, potentially to get fouled. We have our blitz action still. It's going to be blitz onto the blitz raw. Blitz raw goes down with ow. Baronet going to follow this. Does. It's the natural armor break. See the pylon. We do see the pylon. Mighty blow does not get used. No removal. So right now this throw raw is still free. Could mark him with the fend dirty player. I wouldn't hate that decision at all. Or go for the no assist foul. I feel like no assist foul is probably worse. There we go. One die does find, in fact, boxcars in a 9 or a KO. We'll get better. Now that we're seeing Tomb Guardians gone. No assist fouling the other one. I'm not dead yet. Does not find the... And another 1 die block on Guardian, tilting it down. I don't hate the decision. It's not like if he fails that block, it does anything at all. Guardian gets a block on the dirty player lineman, but would have had it either way. Not like you can say that Chickenfish is playing greedy. He's not. If anything, he's very conservative with the ball. Problem is, though, is if he gets the right here, it's 1-9. They're 2 DFIs away from scoring, no matter what Henry did. That is unnecessary dice, considering GFI. Considering the fact that the side of the pitch has been completely free. the whole time. In the Orc's control. No reason at all that he's gonna need to devise. Or seen what I would consider to be the first real mistakes. Pulling a lot of dice before we move this Tomb Guardian. I feel like where he's going is already predetermined. Yep, right in the other option would have been going back and marking these guard guys, but I kind of agree with his assessment, though, that these guys aren't really going to be able to cause much trouble. They can this guy, or not be involved in the way. Go ahead and lock in this Tomb Guardian. Both of them going there are going to be targeting or this Tomb Guardian with the bullets. Piling on. Here we go. Gets the POW. Can chain push if we'd like. Good, but good. Not. Does not find the armor break, but I bet we pile this one on anyway. Oh. It is a prudent decision to go ahead and do that. It does expose yourself to a hit here from the Blitzer with jump up. Funnily enough, it actually looks like the left side of the pitch is safer now that this throw raw has repositioned. All this effort being spent on knocking down the Emery is tying up an awful lot of their players. Whoa. You see the Orcs making moves center of the pitch. We're going for the handoff play, trying to avoid the 2 GFIs. Well, guess what, folks? A 3+ catch. Quite often harder than 2 GFIs, but we do make the reroll happen. We are now in a scoring position. We transferred some of the risk from this turn, or from next turn to this turn, and found ourselves in a spot. The mother is a hamster, though. Not so much in a good spot, but he does regen. And yeah, the Kimberly without any option. I guess, there's a 1 die. It finally gets punished into a skull. No armor break, though. So there is potentially a response here. You could base this Blodge Step ball carrier. It would be hard for them to clear it off. I feel like that is the play. No 1 die block here with the jump up. Most likely, so yes, we do. The block onto the violin. Stay put. Another armor break. But still, no removals for the Kimry. Kimry got to be very frustrated with how one-sided the removals have been thus far. It's not for lack of trying. The Orcs have certainly hit the ground many times. But nothing. Blitz action here to put the Fend Onion on the ground. Perhaps we didn't see it was Fend, but that was. And now the Orcs have to devise a way to clear up the saxophone. Or risk a 1 and 9, denying them what should have been a very, very easy score. Making this much harder on themselves. You get the knockdown. Electing to go with the blocked Black Orc, even though he was closer to the ball. In fact, this Black Orc is entirely out of the play, so I don't know if I like that decision. We did, however, free up the Bassoon, who can make 2 GFIs. Yourself, whether the 2 GFIs or more risky than dodge. I feel like what I would do if I having to make myself. Top of that, we get the removal. We'll call it a draw. Again. Ooh, regen fail, and there's a serious player removal. Now one less mighty blow on the pitch for the Khemri. Yes, this does in fact clear up a way for our thrower to get the base. So I would expect we would do, in my case, the first GFI, and if it uses my reroll, then I'll go for the dodge. Got one GFI doing it, or the blitzer that eyes on him. Good ball carrier blitz. Here we go. The knockdown. And we find the score. Saxophone doing all the things. Close to leveling as well. Big KO reroll, or sorry, big KO roll, I should say, for the Tomb Guardian, and he does find his way back onto the pitch. But now there's no bench whatsoever for the Khemri. We'll get 3 blocks here to try and do something to these orcs, but so far their armor has just been so good. And the few occasions their armor hasn't held up, injury rolls were not kind at all. You see the orcs going into the oh, not even the anti-wonder. It's the turn 8 or end of game setup to stay out of the range of the Khemri. Of course, Riot could enable them the ability to 2-turn, but I doubt we'll even see set up for it. I feel like we're going to see all the effort put into knocking orcs on the ground, and probably a foul, although it is a risky decision to foul here because you are just on even numbers, and losing one player to the foul with no bench left would be a tricky thing. Quick snap is the result of the kickoff, so we will not be seeing a Khemri. He did set up in case of the riot, but we will not be seeing the one-turn attempt here, I believe. Though with that movement 7 throw rock, wasn't impossible. Did not set up for it. Plus, I mean, could be 5 plus 4 plus. Certainly not with this guy. He's too valuable to risk trying dodges. We find our first whoa! That's dead Black Orc. Don't see us apple in this bank that he has. In fact, he does not. F's in the chat for double bait. I can tell you, and anyone that's played orcs for a long period of time will always say that you can never really develop more than 3 black orcs because there's always got to be at least one on the line. And in this case, we actually are prioritizing our linemen with 30 player and fend over having black orc back here. Would that have been this black orc? Who's to say? Me, I said yes. This black orc would have been safe. Would have been on this black line, the back line. Triangle the second would have died instead. But you know, it was a choice. The 8-man assist. 3+ finds it. No additional removal here. So we will be looking at 11 on 11 with no bench. I say I like the decision here to put this blitzer on the sideline. Or I probably would have done the thrower instead. I think it's more valuable. But just in case of a rock, get your worst players out. McMackey did not bless our catch dice. Did bless our pass dice. 4+ was 6. Not the catch. That'll do it for the half. No KO rolls to be rolled. Everybody on the pitch. Benches are empty. Got ourselves a real brawl here. But it's time to see how the Khemri respond to the Orc offensive drive. Now, the Khemri aren't going to, in my opinion, be able to get away with doing what the Orcs did, where they kept the ball deep with no pressure, hitted the scrum, and hitting the Khemri are going to have to fight their way through the Orcs while protecting the ball, likely having fewer numbers to commit to the brawl. So unless the Orcs find themselves suffering a removal or two on what I would assume off, they are going to be in a good position to threaten the ball at all times. Especially if you factor in the G4 movement 6 thrower here. Seeing a unconventional setup here from the Orcs. Unconventional for Orcs, I should say. I think I've seen this a couple times. Mario setup. Or in more of a totem setup. That's going to be the American Gods totem pole. The advantage to a setup like this is that you've got some flexibility on both sides of the pitch. I don't like this guy being so deep. Blitzes happen, especially with a short kick. No kick for the Orcs, but you never know. Do a short kick with blitz kickoff result, and then this guy up here with better position. But what this does prevent, though, is getting all the Tomb Guardians all up in business. I like this setup more from elf teams going up against REBBL when they're worried about 10. Orc-estrial gets another reroll. Time fame was not a factor. Still. Second reroll of the game given to the Orcs. Bend. I don't really like the first action block on the fence, because now he does not have anywhere to set up chain blocks, but it doesn't matter how any guy. Now we are basing Black Orc right out the gate, which will be our blitz target, and in fact the second base confirms it. Blitzing with the blitz rock. How apropos. Positioning here, unfortunately, could have been better. If he did get a push, he would have been base contact with Black Orc still, but he doesn't get a push. He does, in fact, find boxcars into a armor break, but without piling on, would be stuck to settle for this stun. He could have positioned the 2 assists here, and blitzed here and pushed this way for a safer option. Alternatively, could have gone from the bottom and blitzed from the side and pushed backwards. Actually, more front here. but it's fine. A little optimization that I myself often get incorrect, so I like to call those out when I just a reminder of myself, not make that same mistake. And we're going to keep this Black Orc in base contact, but when it's considering that it's up against 3 Tomb Guardians, 2 of which with guard, I feel like that Black Orc not going to be throwing any punches here. I don't like bringing this guy back in. I would have preferred to keep him wide out here. Just pick up. But we are positioned for a failed pickup, which is not that much. More pitch control up here. Pulling him in like this, he is exposing himself for the sidestepper to swing around the side. And with that failed pickup, I don't want to guarantee it, know this coach that well, but would say if it were me in this position, I'd expect Orc conveniently find his way up into the right flank, taking control of a big section of the pitch, which Emery should not want to give up very well. Yeah, in fact, the right side of the pitch can be entirely claimed by just putting the Fen piece here, guy up here, and maybe one piece behind the Fen guy. Like that piece. Then those 4 pieces would entirely lock down the right side of the pitch. Given the fact that they blitzed on the left side, you would want to continue committing to that. You get the knockdown onto the Rackle skeleton. I don't hate it. It is the most bang for your buck in terms of speed that you could target. That's also 87. We do pile this on. Get nothing from the pylon. That is going to look like a very juicy foul target if the Tomb Guardians want to commit. Considering the fact that the Orcs are actually, in my opinion, over funneling to the right side of the pitch, they may not commit. They just take up this side of the pitch. Yeah, they do have to protect the ball in a way that the Orcs did not. And the fact that they failed that pickup, there we go. Took them a little while. As predicted, they're moving up to the right side. Alright, so the Orcs are basically drawing a line down the pitch and saying, you can have this side, I want this side. But if you miss, if you fail to pick up the ball, you're going to be here. In this instance, I would expect to see the Khemri do something to protect this side, while probably still blitzing them. Black Orc would be pretty easy to knock down. Blitz on, I should block on. Get a guard over there. That would also get the guard up against the Lodge Stepper. So probably my choice of actions here would be taking the shot at the Black Orc. Probably after I guard guy with low. Then bring him back. Keep this guy as a good equivalent, or a good favorable exchange of value of 40k skeleton for a 100k Black Orc. Good trade. Dubs goes out the gate. There's a reroll burn. Does not find the knockdown. But this will free up these Tomb Guardians. Plop them right here. Reason why I said make the blitz first is, first of all, in case you do roll block, but second of all, so you can actually position this in here. So it looks like this is probably going to be the blitz target. Black Orc instead, which I don't recognize that. Pushing the strength advantage, even though it's an unskilled one. If you do get rid of a second Black Orc here, that's really going to limit the strength of, should this go to overtime, which is honestly. Khemri's only real hope here, bringing this. But should it go to overtime with 2 black orcs gone, that would put the orcs in a significant disadvantage. Strength fight. I don't particularly know if I agree with the decision to go here. How the orcs respond to this. I feel like it's so easy for them to just put the guard here and cancel out that guard, stand the guy up, and now it's favorable matchup for that other guard. What I was saying before about the good exchange of value is 40k for 100k. Well, now we're exchanging 40k plus another 90k, so 130k plus another big chunk, and even more money that we're giving this orc to tie it up. Same time, we have a very exposed ball right now. We have to commit. At least we picked it up. If we didn't make that pickup, we would not. And we are going to be able to bring some more people over here. That was close. You have to use sure hands. All is safe at this point. I actually think we're set up now to foul. This feels entirely unnecessary. There's no orc on the pitch that could come around this backside. I would have preferred to see him actually like right here, marking this wrestler and standing up in a good position for the assist here. There we go. One shy of the armor break. At least it wasn't a send-off. Here we go. We got a one-die pow onto the tuba. And the tuba's going down. 2 shrubberies with the removal. Big casualty. Apo failure. Got a movement busted black orc. That is the most developed black orc on the team. Now be movement 3 going forward. That is a big deal. Very unfortunate. That is a costly thing. You might even consider, fortunately, having to retire that player. Movement busted black orcs are not great. That player just went from somebody that you wanted to protect to now basically line fodder. Which is very frustrating from the orc coach perspective, especially since that is the only one that has 2 levels on. Oof, that is a season's worth of development on a black orc. Down the drain. I'm sure he will keep him, but there are some prudent coaches that would say that that is a dead player. We do see the orcs, in fact, swinging around, as I mentioned before, to really punish this clump up, and now they have the advantage. Guardians are not in a position to help balance this out either. The guy was not forward up, so the wrestler wasn't able to get involved in this fight. Meanwhile, this guy is nowhere near the fight. He will not be able to participate in any meaningful way. So what we're going to have to see here is, and we can't even set up a chain push and get somebody through. So we would have to knock over this black orc here and then bring somebody over here, but it's going to be... go well for the Khemri next turn. Now she'll count to 3, entirely out of this engagement as well. So I feel like the Khemri need to pull back. And that's not a good thing for Khemri. They're so slow, and when they do give up pitch control, it's hard for them to take it back. Can't justify pushing forward this much of a scrum happening that you are potentially going to lose out on. Do make that Tomb Guardian block first. So It is a knockdown, which is a big deal. Now have some more options to try and get Tomb Guardians into this fight. Second block with the Tomb Guardian, not as favorable. Doesn't get the knockdown, but it does, again, still open that path for the Tomb Guardian to get involved. Get guard on a couple players. And maybe throw the ball. Oof. A base cage. Cage up somewhere around here. Did bring the skeleton around, as I had said, so this will at least be one 2-die block, and if we get the knockdown here, then it'll be 1 die onto the guard piece. Not find the knockdown. Choose not to follow. Just, you know, give us one less block in return, or give the orcs one less block, but this allows him to reposition exactly where he wants. Make sure that whatever blocks he's getting are 2-die blocks. If I was him, it would be right here, right back where he was, 2-die block. That's why the position of these Khemri matters so much. Potentially GFIing here would get some lockdown on these guys, but the rest of the orcs are going to catch up to this very quickly. And careful. Check the ball well enough. Definitely like the Rackle 1-die block here. Action. I still think the GFI might be worth. Face the ball, but see him actually hitting the ball. Hit the 1-die pow onto Blotch Stepper. Will there be consequences? Just a stun, but you know what? That's still a consequence. We do make the GFI. I like that position. I like that a lot. I feel like our ball is safe. Yeah. Yep, that does give us a 2-die block as well. Don't know that I would have followed that. Not the worst choice, but I do feel like giving up an extra shot on your AV7 guard piece. Asking trouble. I would have preferred to stay there and let them come to you. Reason why I didn't, you know, they said up this guy alone would be a problem is because he could just position and get those blocks. Not able to get those blocks right away. We'll know about that one. What I do expect, though, is probably this knockdown. But you see the orcs starting to remember how to play the trade game here with position 30 player fend piece running. But that's still only going to give him a 1-die block here, and he really needs to start. If the from the orc defensive position, your objective here, aside from just praying for removals, would be isolating Tomb Guardians and sticking them on things that they are not, that aren't worth their time. That would be, we've got several line orcs on this pitch right now that are absolutely a good exchange for Tomb Guardian. This Wrestle one and 30 player one in particular. Each of those were tying up a black orc with no other players involved. That would be a great exchange of value. But that's just not what we're seeing here. But we are, you know, the orcs do have better pitch control than the Khemri right now. No, they're not playing the most optimal way in this matchup. They are still. I just worry that the orc side of things, that the Khemri are going to have some questions they may not be able to answer on one. The guard is in all the right positions here. This strength 4 wrestle Raw is likely going to be the hero that comes clears a path. Go for the Tomb Guardian. Arm is off. Knocked over by the Clarinet. Doesn't follow up for a Palon choice. Not going to do it. With that, backs out. Does open up an opportunity for the Black Orc to come in, and I like this facing the draw. As I mentioned, talking about exchanges of value, this simple 80k Black Orc, who is getting a hell of a lot more than 80k value. People's Dodge is a fail. This is overtime format. You've got 4 rerolls. I don't hate the reroll here. This is a very important piece. If you choose not to, reroll it, and he gets removed, as we are seeing, may regret the decision not to reroll that. Bane have to say on the matter.
Your overconfidence is your weakness.
That's what I thought. That Bane. So, with that, a very, very important removal happening in favor of the Khemri. And if this KO does not come back in overtime, it's a big deal for the Orcs as well. Wisely freeing up your strength 4 wrestle piece. A Black Orc over to the Rackle skeleton. This is still actually, though this is a straight up even exchange, an 80k skeleton for an 80k Black Orc. Positioning, don't mind if he hits this. Ideally, you know, it's still a 2-die block on maybe some. I don't like it, but it's better than having him tie him up. More pushes for the Khemri. This is not their knockdown turn, but after that removal, can't get everything you ask for all the time. Ball is in a very safe position still at this point, unless something goes haywire up here. Actually, step back. Good that this guy's marked. That's a good exchange. A knockdown, but yeah, that was actually a really big deal on that note. There's still a play, though. Not careful. There is still a play on the ball. That was not ticket. I question a lot. Yeah, I mean, not the greatest, but there's definitely dice on the ball next. 1 die in a blotcher, but it's still possible. Made it better. That was incredibly risky. Made it better. Got 2 rerolls, and it's turn 12 in an overtime format, and you're making a 1-die block without block in order to protect dice on the ball. Be fishing for a POW. I mean, this block right here speaks of the situation quite a bit. Rand the Mad is feeling a bit desperate and indecisive as he wobbles back and forth, unsure of where to go. Firstly, we see Chickenfish making decisive, quick moves. We know exactly what we're doing as it works in turn. how we are going to respond to this predicament. Imagine this guy just goes right back in this. Trying to decide if this was the right position or not. I think it's fine. Yeah, that makes sense now. Sorta. Well, it doesn't have guards. Right, no, it does make sense. Because you're block here. Yeah, I'm good. Ooh, Orc GFI failure. I expect a reroll. Yeah. You know, shocker, everyone. Orc failed the GFI. Blitz action. Free up killer in the net. Again, I don't know how I feel about that one. Not what I was expecting for his blitz action. To me, honestly, the killer was in a fine position. It wasn't the best position, but it was a fine position to react. Now, repositioning like this says flat out that the orcs are playing to shut down this score, which is, but that they're basically saying if you try and force this sideline, it's hard. Welcome in, Jim Sardonic. Certainly not over for Rand, but last turn showed some desperation signs of the one die block, however, does not succeed, and after using the reroll on the failed GFI, now I have a little bit of breathing room for Rand. Just needs to get his Khemri into the right position. Hopefully this turn will allow him the opportunity. Would like to see him block this lineman, and not in this order, but blocking this lineman. This should be a later action. Getting the guard back into this position, probably actually right here. And this guy to go ahead and mark the killer on the GFI or shut out saxophone. Absolutely need to bring 4 up and backside of here. We'll go ahead and probably... No, it might be sideline cage time, although we've got a lot of time left on the clock. We still have 4 turns. I would still like to see the cage probably at the least right in here. If not. Go. Good value exchange onto the killer. Love the positioning of the guard right there. Beautiful. Getting the knockdown on this guard piece. Also great. I would say, though, this stun is huge. We have a chain push now. I don't like that decision. I feel like I would have probably... There are merits to that decision. Step back. I do like that decision. I don't like this one. Got around. I would have put the square right here. But yeah, actually, because he did this, these guys are pretty locked down. This orc's also locked down. Only the guard and the non-guard Tomb Guardian were, and it would be a lot better. But this still isn't bad. Now he really needs to... No, not that one. Damn. Alright, well, I guess... Alright. Why he did it. But... Before he made that block, he should reposition the guy on this guy. Now that he's made that block, this guy can be the back. It's gonna be a wonky cage. It's gonna be like a 3/4 cage. Which I guess coming around this side is not... Okay. Okay. I get it. It works. It's crude. Effective. Right now, I give the Kimry about... After this... So before last turn, it was probably about a 60% chance for the Kimry to score. But after that Orc 1-die failure, and the way that the Kimry repositioned and took back control of the sideline and this portion of the pitch, I would say that the Kimry are about a 83% chance. Interesting choice for a blitz using a guard here with the wrestler. Does not find the knockdown, does not get a ability to reposition. He's just entirely trying to set up to get a 1-die block onto this Tomb Guardian. Does not find the knockdown. Back switches and goes for the guard one. We're going to have another 1-die block onto this Tomb Guardian. Also, does not find enough. Putting them both onto the Fed lineman is fine. He's going to be able to just reposition all of these Tomb Guardians, though. Except for one. Whichever one makes the block here. We do see Black Orc having his way with your mother as a hamster, but again, this is an equal exchange of value, 80k for 80k, so as long as that guy doesn't die. Skeleton. Killer frees himself up on a 1-die, so a lot of 1-die blocks here. A lot of pushes. Works. Oh. All the 1-die blocks. Pushes. Finally see Strength 4 getting involved in the match. 2-die block from a safe position. Probably would have followed. Not sure why we didn't follow that. And get into scoring position on turn 14 as Kimry. That is feeling amazing. Tomb Guardians starting to get down the pitch. Find themselves right in the thick of this. And now it's going to be really hard for the Orcs. Shut this score down. With our blitz here, it looks like onto the killer perhaps. Yes, I like this call. That I don't like. You got to burn it, man. I'm sorry. I have one reroll for overtime, but you got to burn it. Mostly because you haven't moved this guy yet. He had done stuff with these guys first, which I'm not entirely sure. Now, you know what? No, I don't hate the turn order. I think the turn order is fine. I think you just have to burn reroll there. You don't have a choice. Probably go over here and just face this guy. Maybe the Black Orc and the guy. No, that's a very easy. Bring him in. Yeah, okay. I like this. This. Very strong. This is very strong from the king. A lot of people say this is not the most exciting match. Yes, there's death and misery on both sides here, but to be honest, this is a control versus control match where the removals are not deciding the winner of the game. Like that. This is some good quality Blood Bowl, folks. Kimry versus Orcs is a matchup that I have some experience with. I do not play a lot of Kimry. That's my time with Orcs, I've had to play some of the nastiest Kimry. Gengars. Freaking strength. 6 everywhere. Guardian. Definitely felt a little bit like this. There's desperations on both sides. Excited to see this go to overtime. Provided Kimry are not going to falter. Really, with 3 rerolls in the Orcs position, I think comfortable going to overtime. I think you can still try and make the Kimry throw some dice, but it's going to require you to throw some dice. I honestly don't blame it. Second reroll of the half used by Saxophone rolling a GFI. Orcs suck at GFIs, folks. Would you believe it? Absolutely agreed, Cheese X. The Gengar's Khemri were disgusting. I mean, we re-rolled this GFI, and all we got for it that we couldn't have gotten otherwise is 2-die push. Really doesn't feel worth it to me, because all we had to do was stand up these two guys, and guess what? We have a 2-die, so we can push without rolling that GFI. We have this 2-die. We have same 1-die. This does free up one guy. All of these extra dice in that reroll did free up a wrestler that we could swing here, but guess what? Strength 4 wrestler can totally handle him. Yeah, in my opinion, and you can really actually screen up right in here. Got the free players to do it. Yeah, this is a little better with that dodge. They claim much position. Honestly, I'm not even kidding here. I might just score. Not optimal, but given the position that you're in and the fact that if he rolls some crazy dice, lose, I would not give him the option of rolling those crazy dice. I'd rather make an orc try and two-turn. Actually, be hard for orcs, especially ones that are not doing so well on their GFI rolls. It's a very risky block. We have not seen an Tomb Guardian 1 in 81 yet today. Not a huge fan of the decision to roll that block before doing something ball. But it looks like we are going to be taking all the 2-die blocks we can take before deciding if we're going to go or not. But what he's done and what this guy forces is a sideline cage where what 5s and 6s happen, man. 5s and 6s happen. He rolls a 6 or 5 on cage dive. It's the just red die surf. That's game. In fact, he does. Okay, good. I say he doesn't even have to use the reroll to go for it, because he can free up Saxophone and have Saxophone go in with the cage dive, and that would be all I would do on turn 16 or 15. Rand the Mad makes the decision to go ahead and go for the score. Did give the KO roll to Symbol, so Symbol is back on the pitch. It is very unfortunate for the Khemri. They would have loved to see him stay out, not just for the 2-turn attempt, but also for overtime. The fact that he is back for the 2-turn attempt does make it a lot more likely, given the fact that he's got the natural pass, sure hands, and agi up skill, and the movement. Basically, all these skills coming into play for this 2-turn attempt. See the Khemri's anti-2-turn setup. It is tricky as Khemri to defend against a 2-turn, because if you commit to one side of the pitch too much, opponent can just go to the other side and will be much out of options. So at best, as Khemri, we're going to have 3 Tomb Guardians involved in this play. It has been a brutal start for the Big O this postseason. We are seeing if Chicken Fish is able to turn the tide and get the Big O off to a better start. And call that a spoiler if you want, but I didn't talk about any particular. And really, spoiler that the Big O isn't doing that good in the postseason? Come on. Come on. Come on. Just a little friendly bit. From a guy that didn't make the postseason. Take that with a grain of salt. We see the Orcs here pushing that line of scrimmage. Multiple reasons here. You want to get your maximized blocks. You want to get the most damage you can against these 87 players. Yes, they've got regen. So, you know, they'll probably come back. But there is no bench left for the Khemri. So any removals here that stick. Ooh. You get a rock. You get a rock. Everybody gets a rock. One is a stun. One is a stun.
Oh, yeah.
And El Gyro 24, thank you so much for the follow. Salute you. Two-handed salute. So, looking at this positioning, hard for me to say which side of the pitch we're going to push. In fact, that rock actually could mean something, considering where we're at. Because honestly, I mean, the left side of the pitch is where I was leaning, but what we're doing. I guess with this rock, that does make the right side more favorable. Well, both these rocks say, you're the orcs, you want to go the right side of the pitch. That helps getting that knockdown there. That does free him up as options. So really, you have to commit only one block to this guy. And actually, you really need him to get knocked down the first time. Ooh. Okay, that's an option too. Just the get multiple scoring threats down there. Hope the Khemri don't cover them all, but because of what I mentioned before, that the Khemri usually just pick sides, it's better off having one side of the pitch, but whatever, that's fine. The REBBL is international. The REL is for North America and South America. It's time zone based, so got a couple South Americans and Canadians in addition to the whole USA that play in the REL. And the Big O, well, they are from the Oceanic time zone. That would include Asia and Australia. Love giving our Oceanic brothers a hard time in the playoffs. Really not seeing a lot of options here for the whole turn attempt. In fact, the orcs, I think, are kind of in that point as they GFI to protect their killer, as opposed to GFIing to get a additional threat. Tell you, sidestep, which I've already poo-pooed on, it could be a factor here. Depending on, okay, I like this a lot. So what we're doing is we're eliminating the opportunity for him to sidestep to a better position before we blitz him. Once we get him knocked over in the blitz, if we do get him knocked over, the only scoring threats that are left are going to be these guys, which do not have dodge, so he would have to come in reroll too, likely. Second of all, we can just base them up so that they are just not good threats. And in fact, this guy's not even a threat. I forgot, he's only movement 5. So literally the only scoring threat here, other than sidestep dodger, this guy. But you definitely want to blitz this one. We do find the power with Mighty Blow. He's going down. Will the saxophone get a little bit ringed up? Nice one. Snakes the armor roll. Get the ones out of here. Well, Gyro, the REBBL has many side leagues, in fact. We have a rookie spin league where you can just ping anytime you're available and find a match. Play with not just rookie coaches, but coaches of varying skill levels. Practicing skills. League that doesn't quite, I mean, it's a spin league, right? So it's just kind of eternal. You can bring whatever teams you want into the spin league. Have some good Blood Bowl times. Additionally, the Imperium is a trading card-like Blood Bowl game. Just launched. It's actually really interesting. Interesting spin on the Blood Bowl format. And let's see. As far as other pickup games go that aren't scheduled, I guess probably just the spin ladder. CCL. It's not the best quality because honestly, can do it. And here we are eating a dub skull block from the orcs here, so we're not even going to go for the wild and zany dodge plays. But I do like the decision to eat dub skulls here. Conserve your reroll. Look at that. The Kimry win the toss. Big O are not going to Kestrel with their 2 rerolls. The fan factor. Going to have an uphill climb to have to turn this ball over. They were not able to score any removals. At this point, I believe they are down. 9, 10. Yes, in fact, the orcs are down a player to the Kimry as well. Given that these are 2 black orcs that are out of the fight, one of which with guard, strength matchup is heavily in favor of the Kimry. The only way I can foresee the orcs getting this, aside from the fact that the Kimry are a team that is vulnerable running out of rerolls, would be if the orcs were to be very, very aggressive. And what I mean by that, playing a little more like Cheez-Its. And rolling some 3+s and maybe even some 4+s. Getting the Kimry into uncomfortable positions. If the Kimry failed pickup, for example, I would really want to see no less than 3 orcs going after that ball and from multiple directions. Stretch this Kimry team apart. Because if you get into your natural instinct as an orc is to get into just this ball and scrum it out. And that's just naturally what orcs are really good at, with all the guard and all the strength. But against Kimry that outnumber you, you are playing a losing battle. So you have to break that instinct, spread apart, and attack them from every direction, taking away their advantages. Yes, you're going to get 2-die blocked. Yes, you're going to take some damage. But if you do that, you're going to make them roll the dice, potentially burn that reroll, get yourself an opportunity to win this game. That's my orc pep talk for the game. Perfect defense for the orcs. Interesting kickoff result for a very short kick. Going to put a lot of pressure on the Kimry team. And it's going to allow the orcs to get some good position. I don't think there's any way to deny Kimry 3 2-die blocks. Okay, we're going to go aggressive. After I just talked about going aggressive. So there's that. Okay, we're doing this. Very unfortunate, though, that this one isn't the one with guard. Very unfortunate. Our guard black work right now. Absolutely, Jim Sardonic saying that this could backfire for the orc. Absolutely. However, if this pickup fails, S hits the fan. Very, very interesting. I think that scatter actually does favor the Kimry further away from most of their team. First and foremost, you need to protect this ball and swing this blitz raw. Yes, I know you want to blitz with your raw. It's in the name. Does not matter. Protecting the ball, priority numero uno. Overtime format. And there is no other player that can do it as good as this. Okay. Alright. Crisis averted. Would have preferred 1 square up so he can't scatter the ball, but whatever. Busy beggars. Deep breath if you're the Kimry team. Already rolling dice. I would have also liked to see Strength 4 guy come up. Rolling some dice. You have to ask yourself before you throw every single block here, is this block worth my team reroll? Only got one left. You're playing a team that frankly needs team rerolls in order to move down the pitch. You get a knockdown with a 3-die block onto the Fend dirty player. That guy should never have been on the line of scrimmage. Should have been one square off. Guess what? He's no longer on the pitch. That's the thing. I understand the logic there was to put him here in order to stop the Khemri from going this direction, Doom Guardians. But frankly, if they're going this direction, that's the right direction for the Orcs. But again, he's following the pep talk. I said be aggressive, gonna lose players, gonna have to isolate Tomb Guardians. That's exactly what he did. Pickup succeeds. Bad news for the Orcs. As a blitz action, I go for this guy. He does. He gets very, very large stun. Right side of the pitch now is completely his if he's up here. No! Wrong direction. There, hey, there's our 1 and 9. Knew it was coming. It is not worth the reroll. I promise you, it is not worth the reroll. Look at him fighting it. Every fiber of his being is telling him, reroll. Reroll. But he does not succumb to those base thoughts. This will give the Orcs an opportunity. Black Orc finds the knockdown. Follow up and allow a 2-die block on this Tomb Guardian. We are going to have an opportunity at a 3-up dodge to either base or blitz the ball. And if we want to do a second 3-up dodge and what looks to be a GFI, to do a 2-die block with tackle on lodge. Ooh, unfortunate. Get the knockdown here. That kind of kills that play. Had that been a knockdown, he absolutely stays, makes the dodge right through here. Fortunately, tackle is a factor, so maybe, he couldn't go the other way. Actually, he could, so he could push this way, come through here, not have to go through tackle, then base, and this guy comes through tackle. That would have been. But look at that, see? Not re-rolling, was rewarded. He made the right play, and it was rewarded with a push. Bit of a knockdown. Orcs able to reposition. Jericho, I would tend to agree with you that the Orcs were out of position at the start of this turn, but they're quickly able to reposition. And even swinging this blodge step guy to basing this Tomb Guardian is basically saying, like I said, he's got to be aggressive, right? He's got to get those valuable trades. I don't like that one, but, theory. Okay, this is why he did this. Let's take out the Mighty Blow. Doesn't get the armor break. Stun there. I feel like, though, if he doesn't roll GFIs with this guy, he is extremely out of position. Maybe you even base Strength 4 guy. You've got AV9 in your tool belt. AV9 is your calling card as Orc. Gotta rely on it at some point. Yeah, I mean, this is asking a lot of the Khemri. They're going to have to both protect the ball and roll dice, so he's doing the right thing. Ugh. And GFIs have not been kind to Chickenfish so far, so I understand why he doesn't want to roll those. Whether or not he's using them to base this guy, that's a style call. How badly does he want this win? But now it really feels like it'll be 3 turns before this guy's relevant, or Clarinet is able to make the game. Because we know for a fact this Throw is going to go towards, yep, midfield on the right wing. Blitz action onto the sidestepper with Blodge. I love it with the Rackle piece. Filling in that gap so he's not able to sidestep closer to the ball in any meaningful way. I would expect him to sidestep diagonally backwards to the right. Not go that. No armor break found, but frankly none needed. Fine, just right where he... Henry with the tackle in. Swinging our throw raw around to go ahead and protect our rear. Swinging the skeleton up. Hands down the pitch and gain more of this field control. That would have followed. I'll have some Tomb Guardians to move around. Absolutely facing this tackle guy. Done it with that one though. Get extra movement. Why? So you follow this guy, then you swing this guy into that position. Here. That effectively cuts this whole field in half. We're saying that if you want to dodge, you can, but you have to do it through tackle. Honestly, this is... And it's just a 5+4+4+. That's the kind of cheesy stuff that I was talking about. I don't think that's the play. That's not the worst play. Because this is... These 2 tackle zones is basically just diving tackle. Diving tackle, tackle. We all know diving tackle is a fake skill. You can easily make that dodge. This dodge is even easier than that one. Then you don't even have tackle. Right? Am I doing it right, Cheese? Is that how your logic works? I'm not very familiar with that kind of logic, but I understand that sometimes you get into these positions, you have to. You have no other choice. You have to do it. Setting up here for the block onto, again, this Tomb Guardian that has been really pressured a lot. Met the floor many times, but not yet been removed. A good blitz target. Try and regain the sideline. Don't like that. Guess he didn't have a choice. He could either make this a 1-die or a 2-die. I'd have rather done the 2-die blitz here. And then reposition back over. Instead, we're seeing the blitz on this end of the pitch to try and get back into position. But again, this Tomb Guardian is walling him off. And when he didn't make those GFIs, he was committing to being out of position for 3 turns. Look at this. Yeah, it'll be... Turn 2 is going to get you right here. Turn 3 is actually relevant. Had the Kimry been a little bit more assertive, he could have already been threatening the score before he gets back into it. He will get back into this game, but... Wow. Finding the knockdown. Piano. Shrubbery. If we get the knockdown on the Tomb Guardian, this will free up this blitzer. But he didn't really gain any pitch control, right? Like, he punched back, and he based up. But he's doing absolutely nothing to control this part of the pitch. Now, speaking of those risky dodges, look at that. Gets away with the 4+3+, and he is back out of this whole thick mess. Cheezex claiming he's not that mad. Take him at his word for now. We'll wait for him to show us just how mad he is in his own games. Again, we've got great sideline control now from the Camry. Then got the knockdown onto the symbols. You guys are pretty deep. So I think it is going to be probably another 2 or 3 turns. Oh. Probably 3 or 4 turns before we actually see the Camry score here. Unless the Orcs trip up really early in their turn. But I don't foresee him running this far down. Good. Don't see him doing it. I swing him like here. No. Okay, we are, but we're not being safe about it. Reason why I was saying I would bring him somewhere up like right here is because you don't want him to get based or tied up, but you do want him to be available to respond to anything that the Orcs are doing. Because the Orcs still have some wild cards, right? They can just chuck dice. If that happens, you need to be able to respond to it. Guys, he's barely in position to respond to it, provided that the knockdown and scatter doesn't happen in the portion of the pitch. But if he was up here, then he would be able to respond to anything that they do while still providing protection from this rear flank. I don't even think he needs to protect the rear flank, honestly. This is a pretty thick wall. It is a based screen. So, I mean, if we want to just chuck red dice, we can actually punch a hole. That would be scary. And actually, if he was like right in here, he would be protecting against that exact kind of play. But I think as the Orcs here, I definitely start chucking dice. We're literally a couple GFIs, yeah, 2 GFIs away from losing this game. So if you're going to chuck red dice, now's the time. Potentially make meaningless blocks. That's cool. Got 2 rerolls though. Like you have to throw dice at this point. I think your killer needs to get into a relevant position. You're not going to blitz with them this turn. He's just a Chekhov's gun for next turn. Get him into a position and then literally chuck dice. Scaris, I am 100% on the same page with you. I think that without a doubt, this is a play that should happen because this opens up a gap, a reasonable gap for him to punch through. I don't like standing up this thrower so early. I feel like he was a recovery option off the table, provided the miracle dice do happen. Because I would have rather him picked up the ball and then just chucked it down the field. We may still see that, but as the Orcs here up and reroll still. Right. Brought the killer into the play. We still have our dodge guy back here with faced by tackle or anything. The thing is any dodge that you do is going to tackle. Okay. 1 and 9 it. Bummer. Well, he's still got that reroll. Right side. Still... If this guy was further up, like, I still hate that this guy's positioned so far back, because if this guy was further up, you could swing him around here, blitz this guy, knock this guy over, and then you can just go for the GFIs without the fear of a 1 in 36 ending the game, or like losing, turning the ball over to them. You could just go for this, but with this guy being so far back, so few Camry actually up in the area. Okay, that was a choice. Last reroll used. You're not going to be going for the score this turn. So his choice is going to be to blitz this guy and keep this guy base, but this is the Ag4 movement up one, so can't afford to go for some crazy shit. This is consequence of your decision. Oh shoot. But we haven't had a single 1 in 81 this game from the Khemri, which is, to be fair, rare. But we have certainly seen some dice this turn. The 3-die blocks coming out with skulls, skull, 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 skull. A lot of skulls. And now, if he's not careful, if he forces anything, he is going to be 3+ away from getting hit with tackle. But I'm guessing that at this point you just stay where you are. This turn is literally the meme of the dog in the chair, room on fire. This is fine. I feel like you have to move up 2 squares just to get rid of the damn GFIs. Right there. Right here, actually. I like this one better. Right here. And it's 1, 2. Maybe just give me 1 square. Okay, alright, alright. Like, you can't go around, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, can't do that. So it's diving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, yeah, that's the play. 3+, 3+, 2+. Fish for the pound. Cheesex was hoping for the Black Orc backdoor. If he had left the ball where he was, and that's probably the right call there. But where it is right now, yeah, 3+, 3+, plus. Fish for the pow. No other dice. Think any of these have any real bearing on. That's not. I guess you could stand him up, do this to chain push to get this guy free to then swing him around. But again, in scoring range. Nope. So we're just gonna base him. Like. And we are one of the few teams that I would say that basing their ball carrier is better than asking them to snake. But to me, this is still incredibly easy to clear off. Okay. Here's the merits to this, right? He's gonna blitz him. If he blitzes him from this direction, pushes him against the sideline, and then he can't just leave. Like, he's right there, so boom. Then he has to find another way through this. That was not the chain push play. He didn't get the knockdown, so it would have been a dodge either way. So I understand why he did that. But I was trying to have him chain push this way to get more stuff in the area. But, oh, actually, no, I take that back. This is smart. You face this guy. Now we're a 1 in 9 away from disaster. Take that back. Yes, that was the good chain push play. Put it up against the strength 4 guy. Now you're forcing a 2-die block with the Guardian. Clear this guy off. But this is not the path. Like, you should not push this way. There's an alternative way to do this to make it clear should you get the push instead of a knockdown and then be able to score. I gotta say it though, this has actually been better coached than I expected. Both sides are doing really well. For Division 4 and Division 5, they're doing their divisions proud, and both REL and Big O should be proud of this control matchup that was not decided by casualties, not decided by greedy piling on. This was a good played match by two coaches that I think were very even in a lot of respects. In fact, the inducements were only a single bribe, so I think this is a match that a lot of coaches could watch and learn several things from. Out, GFIs. Orcs be coming. What does this get you? I don't think this gets you enough. Yeah, he agrees. I don't think this gets you enough to reroll. Yes, you could probably lose the game with 2 rerolls in your pocket, but I don't think that the reroll there is warranted, and should something go wrong here, you're going to want those rerolls later on. We do get the immediate 3-die block into a knockdown onto this blitzer. Bile in the second is KO'd. But having a second orc on the ball here makes this play interesting. There is, in fact, no direction, no way to get around this chain push play. I like the fact that Chicken Fish is making the Khemri roll dice. Really pushing the game. Here we go. We are blitzing the killer. And wouldn't you know it, it's another 1 in 9. We could win the game on a 4+, but I don't think you risk it. You have no reroll. You're based by tackle. It's a single straight up 4+, 50-50 coin toss to win the game. I wouldn't do it. And yet, while he's not doing it, it's not doing it's also pretty scary. But yeah, we're gonna see the block in. Oh no, the ball carrier is the 1 in 9 again. Oh, the humanity. The recap. Up here were some skulls and a push, and some skulls and some skulls, and then some more skulls and a push and a skull. And then it's the orcs' turn where they get a bunch of good dice. And then it's some skulls and some more skulls and pushes. The dice have gotten very cold for Ran the Mad. And if this goes to kicks and the orcs are hanging on to 2 rerolls, oh boy. Oh boy. So here we are with a straight up 1-die block with your killer onto the ball carrier. Oh no! He goes for the 2-die block by making a 2+ dodge. He does have to burn a reroll here, so now kicks are looking a little less juicy. Find the POW and Mother of God. The first game that Superfed has cast in the last 2 years of playoff, or 2 seasons of playoffs. Gonna go to kick. Mother of God. The horror. The horror. Maybe not. Maybe we will be spared from kicks. The bassoon has entered. Just like Peter and the Wolf, when the bassoon enters, everyone pays attention. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was a hell of a turn. And wow. Wow. Chicken Fish has to be on the edge of his seat after that. The blitz action to go ahead and mark the lineman is a good call. It's a very good call. We're definitely in the bold territory, and for the love of God, position this correctly. If you do not put that Tomb Guardian in this square, you are not playing Blood Bowl correctly. Thank God. Now, how do you get backup to I'm Not Dead Yet too? Because he needs some backup. I feel like... Yeah, here you go. Not gonna serve his own players. We're better than that. But we're now in the position of Ran the Mad, praying for kicks, down or reroll. Because there's no other way he's scoring. Come on. Gotta move him. Gotta move him. Gotta move him. I'm moving him. Oof! Tension of those rerolls. So this guy's gonna be the scoring threat? About that, but okay. Guy's walled off well. This guy has to make a 3+ or 4+ 3+ with tackle. First one. Guys are all 3+ dodges out. I do like the decision to go ahead and block here, and I really like the decision to go ahead and keep them in this position. I would do the Tomb Guardian block onto guy to push him further away, though. I do not. I see. I wanted the block here because, well, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and keep it there. I understand the merits of both those decisions because a turnover here on a 1 and 9 is bad. Honestly, if I'm chicken fish, solo swag 420 blaze it. Cheese to the corner. Check back in with Bane. It's been a while. Bane, what is your thoughts on the game so far?
Well, fortune favors the bold.
I would agree. We uphill. We've got our last reroll. We get the push. But now we're doing a naked 3+ dodge. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. we didn't blitz. Oops. Oops. Used our last reroll. Oops. Ladies and gentlemen. I want to fucking kill. I have to turn on animations even though I don't really need them. Because, if I don't and it goes to kicks, we just see who wins and that's it. I like how we're charging up our dice here. The 1 and 9's coming. Just keep rolling all the dice. Get them all out of the way for this 1 and 9. Right. Do it. That's good. Put them right back. Yep, baby goes back in the corner. Get that bassoon queued up here in case something happens. Bassoon solo. Armor breaks is good enough, Jesus. Ah, the hero that Jim Sardonic is holding out for, the xylophone. Everyone's favorite. Thank you for the biddies. Assume so. Well, we chose to go for a 4+. And it would have been a red die. We got the 1 and 9, boys. We got it. Fortunately, it's too late to matter. Going to kicks. There's no McMackey blessing these past dice. It's literally just apply foot to ball. Pray. So now as the orcs, you get the wonderful joy of saying, okay, can I do any damage? We just roll dice until there's no one left to punch. Could surf the Tomb Guardian. Fan of that. So we'd have to... Well, no, that won't work. They spamming the kick bits. Two more blocks left that I can... The more skilled coach is going to win at kicks, Full Metal says. Well, to me, Tomb Guardians have the giant legs that are just great at punting players, so I don't see why they shouldn't also be able to kick the ball well. However, they are offset by the skeletons, who very well lose a leg mid-kick.
Oh, yeah.
And the mat is now following. Penalty shootout.
Oh,
Each team rolls a
yeah.
d6 and the highest score wins. Yay! So fun and interactive. Yay! They says subscribe. Descriptions. That's a miss. The Orcs lose. Wah, 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 wah. Look at that form. Look at that form. The Orcs roll the 1.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Sardonic, thank you so much for the follow. Good to you. Two-handed salute. That was a game. That was a game. I think, honestly, like I said, this was a really, really good control versus control matchup. I think both coaches were really sweating it out. I do feel bad for the Orcs, not just because they lost they lost 2 black Orcs, but just they put their heart into the overtime stop, and they succeeded in stopping the touchdown. So, kudos to that. Played played your heart out, kid. And I like the team theme, but wouldn't you know it, guys? Big O just lost another one. But you know what? Without having any idea what this sounds like, we'll cue up some bassoon solo here. Tribute for the brave line orc that could. Not a bassoon, so it's not really a bassoon solo. Pointed already. Can we get the actual bassoon? Alright, there we go. That's a bassoon. No, it's actually not a bassoon. Oh, damn it. That's a bassoon. Alright. Thanks, YouTube. You failed me. Alright, anyway. Christ. This is what you really come here for. Shit show. Hey guys, do you like blocks? Do you like control teams that block a lot? How about a game with over 150 blocks in it? That's cool, right? Went to kicks. Yay! No claw, so both these coaches are stand-up guys. And not a lot of SPP gained either. As you do. Nice. Look at the dice log, because that's what you do as a streamer when you're done with your game and you're vamping for time. Don't want to turn the stream off yet. Yeah, cool. Nice log. Block dice. Look at those skulls coming out for the Undead, well, the Kimry. Hate that you're... See, this is like Cheesex level of bad team names, where you put the race, like something that is super associated with a different race, or in this case, the name of another race in your team name. Just to screw with people. Why he's ran the mad. Once. Not two. Pretty favorable. Got a lot of AV7. But anyway, regen OP. Oh, yes. So Ran the Mad will be playing Rex Longbone because Rel versus Rel. After all the other divisions crumbled away. I'd like to look at Rex Longbone's team. See what Rand will be facing next. Wouldn't you know it? One cheese. Notice how cheese is associated with rats, not orc. Consistent theme to team name. Synergy. Why these guys are winners. Challenger Cup. Not the actual playoffs. Jeez. First of all, what is this? Just have the code for Hilda Dusting Storm Vermin, so we just replicate it. Speaking of disgusting, Yo, dog, I heard you liked one turning. Got leap before sure feet. Let me reward your unoptimal decision. Agi up. Make it better. Strength up. Nice. Every single one of your gutters has a double or a stat up. Nice. Hate your team. Oh, one's from the market. Great. Great. Well, then you clearly deserved fair and balanced team. Clearly earned all this SPP. So fair and balanced. I'm trying so hard. No, it looks good, Rex. Yeah. I would predict you to win the Challenger Cup at this point, looking at the game. If you lose, entirely your fault. Not the dice's, your opponents, players. No one's fault but yours. Disgusting, fair and balanced. I hope you don't ran the mad. But if you lost to this team, I would understand. Because you know he's going to get like inducements and shit too. With this team. Alright, that's going to do it for me, boys. I am out of here. I was able to snatch this game up last minute, so hopefully I'm able to pick up a couple more in the next coming rounds of the Sippy Challenger Cup playoffs. We'll see. We'll see. God knows I got nothing better to do on a Friday night except play League of Legends with Stace. Being told by the commander-in-chief that I need to host Steak Mittens. Let's do it. The exclamation mark, I believe? Or is it a slash? Try both. Nope, not an exclamation. Nope, not that either. Nope, not that either. You. Isn't his name just Steak Mittens? Am I doing it wrong? Pretty sure he's on my auto host list already. Steak Mittens TV. That's what I'm doing wrong. Alright, everybody. Thanks for watching. This channel is intended for mature audiences.